The Ambiguous Couch Affair. Fade in from black. Interior furniture store, day. Loud elevator music from the speakers, no other sound. The store is not elegant. A big, cheap, basic place in the middle of nowhere that sells second-hand and new furniture that seemingly no one wants to buy. A series of couches and armchairs are placed side by side. In the background there are tables, other furnitures, and an on-sale sign. A 60-something Native American woman, Evelyn Johnson, sits on an amber couch in silence, staring vacantly in front of her. A fan is next to her, but she is fan herself anyway. There's another sign that reads 15%, 40%, 60%. She leans her head back, humming the speaker's song softly. Exterior furniture store, same. Everything seems desert sand color or dark gray. In front of the store there is a small empty parking. In its 3 signs stick out. The name of the store, a big red sales, and between the parking and the store, a useless arrow enter that point at the very visible door. Not too far from the store there is a 4-fuel pump gas station with his small outbuilding. Nothing else, just a road. A car arrives and parks badly next to the gas station. An old man exits from the gas station. He's the owner. From the car, Parker Ray glances worriedly at the old man. Parker looks young, but also hesitant, worn out, and whey-faced. He calmly exits the car, holding something. The car door is closed. For a moment, Parker stays still, facing the gas station and the man. Then suddenly, Parker turns his back to the gas station and goes towards the furniture store. He then looks back. The old man has disappeared. So he immediately covers his face, putting on a yellow plastic bag he cut 2 holes in. He keeps walking, slow. When he's in front of the store, Parker ties the bag handles under his chin. The sliding doors open. Interior furniture store, same. The elevator music plays in the background during the whole scene. Parker stands in front of the door that now stays open. He fixes up the plastic bag so that the holes better matches his eyes. He breathes heavily, moving the bag back and forth, looking around. Somewhere else in the store, Randall Johnson, a 60-something man with a Stetson hat, is walking tiredly between shelves and furnitures. He sits on a chair. When he leans back, there's a crack.
What the?
Randall turns to check the seat back. Intercut between Parker and Randall. Parker is still breathing heavily. He's nervous and tries to move the bag from his mouth in vain. Randall stands up and takes the chair with him. He walks in a corridor made of wardrobes and sideboards, carrying the chair. We see another sales sign. He's kind of depressing to look at. Parker walks forward, anxious. The door closes. He checks behind him, and then takes a gun off his trousers. Randall arrives at the end of the corridor and turns in a main, bigger space. He sees Parker from afar, walking in his direction. The door frames Parker. He's backlit.
I'll be right with you.
Randall notices something strange in the customer, but keeps going towards him. Parker stops. His eyes are the only visible feature. He looks frightened and doesn't seem to know what to do.
Good morning.
Parker raises the gun. Randall stops, shocked, and puts down the chair. Parker breathes heavily. He's shaking imperceptibly, but stands determined.
Give me the money!
Randall's hand is still on the chair. He turns the chair slowly, making it creak unpleasantly. Parker gestures with the gun toward the counter next to him. He steps forward, intimidating.
The money!
We don't have any money.
Randall moves forward too, but he's obviously startled.
Give me your money!
Parker points the gun to the counter again. He's unsettling, but mostly scared.
The register, the money!
We don't have any.
The gun moves again to Randall, who stops. Parker breathes in his plastic bag. They are now 10 feet from one another.
There are no money. Nobody bought anything today.
Parker breathes nervously. He moves the bag a little. They stare at each other.
Fucking give me your money!
We don't have any. Look!
Randall walks behind the counter. He gained back a bit of his composure. The gun trembles, following him. Parker tries to look over his shoulders. Randall kicks twice the side of the counter, irritated, bustling about the register.
Move.
Randall glances at a cabinet under the counter.
You don't need to use that gun. There's nothing here.
The register is opened, empty. Parker breathes even more agitated now. He lowers the gun.
Fuck!
Parker bends down. For a split second, a merciless gaze appears on Randall's face, and he slowly moves toward the cabinet. Parker's armed hand is trying to move the bag from his face. He's having trouble breathing.
What do you have?
Seeing the man gasping, Randall's attitude changes again.
Nothing.
There's something else in there?
No.
Both of them look around the store. Parker is gasping.
There's nothing here.
Cut away to Evelyn, sitting on the couch, unaware. Parker is fighting with his plastic bag. His eyes are watery. He's wheezing. The speaker's song changes. Silence between the two men. Parker's almost suffocating. Randall moves backwards, slowly, worried for the man. The gun is pointed at him listlessly. Randall goes back on the other side of the counter next to Parker. The gun is lowered again. Parker's eyes fidget in the bag, red. Randall almost put his hand on Parker's shoulder. The gun trembles in his hand.
What do you drive? You have a truck?
Randall looks outside, but he can't see much more than the empty parking lot. Parker is breathing badly. The bag moves back and forth.
You can take that off.
The two men look at each other.
You can have a furniture if you have a big car. Enough space. Couch, maybe. There are some really comfortable ones. Wonderful. It's a bargain. Or a tea table if you don't have any space. That chair.
Randall points at the broken chair he left in the middle of the aisle. Parker looks at it. He's calming down a bit.
It's all on sale, but you can take that chair.
Fuck!
Parker screams, beating his head with the side of the gun. The bag now covers his eyes.
Has some value.
There is a sudden noise. Parker aims the gun steady. Randall stiffens and kind of raises his hand, frightened again.
There's no need.
Randall looks around, worried. Parker sniffs.
Fuck!
Parker buckles. The gun is lowered. Randall stares at it. Parker walks backward toward the door, his armed hands dangled on his side. He glanced one last time at Randall, who's staring at him, then walks away. Parker exits from the store. The door closed behind him. Randall stared at the door, breathing for a while. Then he comes to his sentences.
Motherfucker.
Exterior furniture store, same. Parker stops in the parking lot to breathe and grasps a plastic bag. He tries in vain to undo its knot. Interior furniture store. Evelyn turns her head distractedly, hearing noises from afar. She stands up from the couch and turns off the fan. Exterior furniture store. Parker puts the gun in the back of his pants. He looks at the store, then goes fast toward his car. It's not close. Interior furniture store. Evelyn notices Randall from afar. He's doing something behind the counter. He's moving, fast, angrily.
Hey.
She's walking toward him, kind of smiling, curious. Randall pulls out a hunting shotgun from the cabinet. Evelyn flinches, confused, and walks faster. He goes toward the door.
What's that?
Evelyn is approaching, running slowly. He loads the shotgun. The door's open.
What are you doing? What happened?
They just tried to rob us.
Randall stops in the doorway. The doors can't close and keep opening a bit to then closing again.
Stand back. Can't happen again.
Evelyn now approaches, walking carefully, fearful. Intercut between Parker and Randall. Parker's now almost at the gas station. He moves the bag on his head. Randall lifts the shotgun and shoots, missing Parker. Parker stops and turns surprised to look back, then runs quickly to the car. Randall's hands are trembling, but he looks determined. Evelyn is behind him. She's in the dark compared to the light outside. There's another shot. Parker's thigh is wounded. He grunts.
Motherfucker!
He breathes heavily. The bag keeps moving. He's bleeding a lot. Parker enters the car with difficulty. He has to put his leg on with his arms, kind of screaming. The car door slams. Interior Parker's car. The car faces the store. Parker takes the gun off his pants and throws it to the passenger seat, from which it slides down to the car mat. Parker sees that Randall is in the doorway but has lowered the shotgun. He tries to put the keys in, grunting again for the pain. He goes in reverse, crying out. Exterior furniture store. Parker's car goes away. Randall turns his back to the car and comes back in. The door closed. Interior Parker's car, moving. Parker is screaming, fleeing rapidly. He can't really see where he's going since his eyes are partially covered, but the road is just straight and deserted. He tries to take off the plastic bag, angrily. He fails. Then he takes the other hand off the steering wheel, too, and with difficulty finally rips it off. The car veers sharply. Interior furniture store. Now the closed door frames Randall. He unloads the shotgun and cleans the saliva off his mouth. Evelyn stares at him.
What happened?
Randall goes to the counter, in silence. Evelyn follows him with a concerned look.
What just happened? What did you do?
No reply. Evelyn looks at the empty parking, worried.
Did you take him? What happened?
Evelyn turns to Randall and leans against the counter. He's putting the shotgun back in the cabinet.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Randall lifts his head and finally looks at her.
Man almost robbed us. He wishes he did. Ha! Not here.
They're staring at each other. He puts a hand on the counter, too.
Did you get him?
I think so.
With your sight?
He won't be back either way.
He had a gun, right?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
He knocks on the counter.
Didn't use it.
Are you okay?
He was a strange man. Really.
Is everything all right?
Fine, Evelyn. Don't worry.
He gets back on the other side of the counter, pensive.
There was something wrong with him. He didn't do much. He looked just strange.
Randall, that could have gone the wrong way.
He didn't. He shot, not him.
What do we have to... Do we have to call the police to report it?
Nah, he didn't take anything.
Yeah, right, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
Are you fine?
yeah, sure.
Evelyn puts her hand on his shoulder.
Don't worry, nothing happened.
Well,
Evelyn and Randall stay both in silence. She takes her hand off his shoulder but keeps staring at him. Randall turns to the parking lot.
Couldn't breathe, poor bastard. Put a plastic bag on his face. A plastic bag.
oh.
He was scared. You could tell from his eyes, breathing. With a plastic bag tied on his head, like a kidnapped.
He ponders for a moment, then suddenly remembers something.
Ah, look what happened.
Randall goes to the chair he left in the middle of the hallway and pick it up. He points at one of the seat back mid rails. It's unglued. He moves it. Evelyn approaches stupefied.
Look, I just sit on it for a moment and this.
Oh, wow. How?
Bam! Ruined in no time.
Randall moves the rail again.
Oh, yeah, that's bad.
I didn't do that much. Just sit there for a moment.
Randall put down the chair. He stares at it.
Jesus.
He shakes his head, taking off the hat to wipe the sweat.
We sell this stuff.
No, that's the problem.
Randall sits on the tip of the chair to rest a minute. He fans himself with the hat.
Hey, it's hot today.